Into the Depths is a roguelite city builder where you're trying to set up a settlement underground and dig deeper into some mysterious cave system. The hook here is that it looks really simple on the surface. You're just placing tiles from a hand of cards, but it ends up being way harder than you would expect, which is kind of the point. It has that gap between this should be easy and why do I keep failing that keeps you wanting to try again. The pixel art style gives it this charming blocky look that makes everything feel approachable, even when you're getting destroyed. Thank you at this point to Smelche for sponsoring this video and for fully accepting my editorial independence. So here's how this thing works. You start each run with a castle in the middle and a deck of cards representing different buildings. Each turn you draw a hand of cards and place them around your settlement. The main resources you're juggling are food, gold, production, which are basically tools, and azurite, which are these blue crystals. Food is what keeps you alive, of course. If this one hits 0, then your run ends immediately and you go back to the surface. Production lets you dig up ore deposits and tear down buildings, and azurite is used for research. As you probably guessed, the placement actually matters quite a bit here. The fields, for example, produce more food when you put them next to other fields. Windmills give you extra food based on how many fields or plantations are nearby. Mines work better on gold deposits. Watchtowers expand your control area, so you can place things further from a castle, but these cost you food and production every turn, just to maintain them. Your markets generate gold based on nearby houses. So you can see, everything has these little synergies that you need to figure out. And the buildings you can afford depend on what resources you have been generating. There are also fancier ones, like windmills, watermills, markets, churches, breweries, shipyards, fishing boats and mage towers. Some cards have special functions, like delayed demolition which blows up after a few turns, or the standard dig and shuffle cards. Most buildings just sit there and generate resources, but some have ongoing costs. Since they eat into your supplies, you need to think about whether they're worth it. Each floor has goals you need to complete. Usually it's gather X amount of gold, plus maybe something else like collecting azurite or exploring with watchtowers. Once you hit the requirements, you can descend to the next level. The environments change a bit as you go deeper. You begin in basic rocky caves. Then there are these humid caves with this green tea look and actual trees growing underground. Then magma areas, where you also have to deal with firestorms, and eventually some place called the Abyss. When you fail a run, you keep any gold you collected and can spend it in a shop to unlock new cards permanently. Between runs you can also customize your starting deck pretty heavily. There is also a reward system, where you pick between different bonuses when you complete certain milestones. The real difficulty is that everything competes with everything else. Food keeps you alive, but you need to focus on gold to actually progress, and you're also stuck with whatever cards you draw. So sometimes you can't get your way. The user interface does have some quirks that take getting used to. The control radius boundaries can be tough to see depending on the terrain and what's around. These are not major problems, but they can add some unnecessary confusion, especially when you're trying to make fast decisions. So what works well is the game looks really basic, but actually needs you to think ahead. You have to plan several turns in advance, figure out where to place things for the best bonuses, and adjust based on the cards you're drawing. I can also see the randomness not being everyone's cup of tea though, since it does limit the strategy a bit. The progression system also does its job. You gradually unlock more building types, learn which combinations work well together, and figure out better ways to handle each floor. Since the caves generate differently each time, you also can't memorize solutions. Whether all this is fun or annoying probably depends on how much randomness you can handle in your strategy games. And this sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.